Okay, I've been thinking of making this post a while, going back to my post where I was like, where do people think I sound like I'm from? And I've been kind of unpacking why does it matter so much to me? Like, I was really sad that night that everybody could tell I wasn't Norwegian, and I had to think that through, because Norwegians speak great English. You guys speak really good English. And I've probably met 2 Norwegians ever that I wasn't immediately sure whether or not they were native. I don't judge anybody. I'm mostly impressed at y'all's English, So why am I so hard on myself? It's interesting, and this has come up a lot on this channel here and there, but I've never really unpacked it. And I was talking about it with my buddy, the one that was at secondlanguaprobs with me. I think my Norwegian school was in some ways almost like a Hogwarts experience. It was kind of a form of a boarding school. It was only active in the summers, but you were getting at 180 study hours in your fremmedspråk, and so it was really all encompassing. And I think I mentioned this before, but my mom forced me to go. I didn't have a choice in the matter. And I believe she forced me because she wanted me to just be like her in everything. She had gone to this school, she had been a teacher there, and she wanted me to do it. And then I kind of went in there and made it what I wanted for me. So I think there's this weird way in which I also then got really obsessed with Norwegian. The first job I ever wanted in 1999, I found a way to email the United Nations. And in 1999, it wasn't so simple to find email addresses. I have no idea how many hours this took me. I was 13, found the UN's email address, might have been 2000. And I was like, okay, I'm going to be your Norwegian translator. What do I do to study? And they were like, nobody hires Norwegian translators in the UN. And I truly locked myself in my room and cried for 3 days. And I could give you more stories like that. But I think in my head at the time, Norwegian became the thing that I was obsessed with. But really what I was probably obsessed with was this place where I wasn't being abused like I was at home, and which I made mine instead of it being my mom's. And then I will talk more about this later and make another video. It's too long, but and then I was also always the best at Norwegian school. I was noted for being the best at Norwegian, probably because of these obsessive tendencies. I would truly lock myself in my room with Ravi or Dillelås, and I would download the songs, and I would print out the lyrics, which again was not as easy to do in 2001. I would translate them by hand, which was not easy to do in 2001. And then I would lock myself in my room and sing the song over and over and over and over until I could sing it without my tongue stumbling on the sounds. Oh, and Sissel, of course I did that too. So I was really good at Norwegian. And so I had this reputation for being so good at it. It had this emotional thing for me. But then I was also never the one who, the cool thing to do at this school, which, as you can tell, took a lot of my identity and shaped a lot of my childhood. The cool thing was to go study abroad, to go to Folkehøyskole or whatever. And around that time in my life is when my parents went bankrupt. Their house got taken by the bank. I was homeless through college, except when I was living in the dorms. And so I never got these things. And so I watched this thing that I was so obsessed with. I wanted to devote my whole life to Norwegian. I saw it sort of disappear. And then I kind of closed the door on that. It's so funny. My own therapist, who I've had for years, months before we moved to Norway, she didn't know I spoke Norwegian. I didn't actually talk about it that much, because to me, it was I didn't want to feel this longing for this connection with this thing that I felt I couldn't have. And now I'm here, right? Now that finally opened. And so I get to live all this joy. And I think it brings up that desire for me of well, I want to I don't know, maybe it takes me back to that place in childhood or something. Like, I just want to be so good. But I think actually, I joked that I hurt my own feelings with that video because I did not want to hear the truth of the answer. But it forced me to deal with it. Like, I think sometimes we have these, like, either these lies or these negative beliefs that we have without realizing it. And sometimes, like, when you force yourself to confront it, then you have to kind of say out loud. Like, somebody asked me, like, why do you care so much about sounding native? And then I had to be like, well, I don't really know. Like, and I'm not sure this video even answers that. Like, it's kind of a complicated, like, you know, but I think it does answer that it's, like, very deep and not really about language kunskap, right? Like, it's about identity and connection and our childhood dreams. And wow, that got really deep.